Welcome to the Chris and Collier Show, a show where we take a look at some movie reviews about movies that are still in the box office or have recently gone to video cassette. My name is Christopher Hyde.
And I'm Jason Collier. The first movie we're going to look at is Apollo 13. It stars Tom Hanks and Gary Sinise, and it deals with the 1973 disaster that occurred when astronauts tried to go to the moon. Now, let's take a look at Ron Howard's 2.5-hour epic, Apollo 13.
Houston, we have a problem.
We got a wicked shimmy up here.
Houston, we are venting something out into space. It's definitely a gas of some sort.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
It must be the oxygen. You see what I see?
Fight. Their heart rates are skyrocketing.
We have a 401 alarm. That can't be real.
Oh, man, it's fighting. Jack, what's the story here?
I keep losing radio signals.
That can't happen. It's got to be instrumentation.
We got some serious time pressure here.
We're looking at less than 15 minutes of life support left.
It's like they're all over the place. Damn, we're losing it.
We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not going to lose one on my watch.
Jason, Apollo 13, fantastic movie. The reason so is because Ron Howard is at his best, doing that type of fictional docudrama that he's really good at. Look at what he did with Backdraft, you know, working with the Chicago Fire Department. He takes a movie here dealing with something very simple and quite kind of bland, you know, the space program going up in space. He throws 4 great actors in there, and he goes up and shows about, you know, a dreadful mission that almost turned out for the worst. And he brings them all back home, and there's just a lot of great action and graphic scenes and music and everything that comes together to really make this one rock for you. What do you say?
The acting is superb, but this film belongs to Ron Howard. He makes you feel like you're there. The enclosed capsule, it's all claustrophobic, and the guys are going to get back home safe. But I was still at the edge of my seat. There's a lot of tension, and the special effects are great. I think you're going to look for this movie around Oscar time. Definitely.
Good enough. The rating on this one, I give it a pinky up.
Oh, definitely, pinky up.
Well, the next film we're going to take a look at is the latest addition in the James Bond series. GoldenEye is the latest movie to hit the market with the 007 theme. It stars Pierce Brosnan and as Pierce Brosnan holds the 5th role in this series. Now let's take a look at the 19th episode in the James Bond market, GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan.
James Bond. James Bond.
Chris, nobody does it better than Bond, I swear. I've been waiting 5 years since the last James Bond movie. I'm a big Bond fan. I think Pierce Brosnan is one of the best Bonds since Sean Connery. He's got the suave debonairness, and I think he's got the box office appeal that will make this Bond film do well. This has got everything you always want in a Bond film. Women, action, gadgets, intrigue, spies, just anything you want. And I think that this is really going to do well, and I think the Bond market is going to be surviving through the year 2000.
Well, that's a good point, Jason. However, I need to disagree. When I look at this movie, I feel like I'm watching another episode of Remington Steele, to tell you the truth. I see that type of character coming through with Pierce Brosnan. I'm a little upset that we are on the 5th James Bond. I mean, George Lazenby, Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, and now Pierce Brosnan. How many more? Are there going to be 10 before I die in my lifetime? I don't see it's necessary. And another theme that really got me that I didn't enjoy as much in this film is the British Secret Service. In this particular series, they like to say, sex and action, sex and action. There's a lot of sex. He has, relationships with 3 different women, and I don't think it's really necessary. And the action just seems to go on too far to really support the plot that much. I didn't feel this was as good as some of the earlier ones.
Chris, I disagree with you.
The rating on this one?
Pinky up.
Pinky down. Well, that's all the time we have on this edition of Chris and Collier. Thanks for joining us. Please join in next week when we take a look at some of the box office hits that weren't necessarily hits in the eyes of adults and professionals. The great show Kids and Another Tragedy, Showgirls.
I'm Jason Collier. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining.